What's going on? So I just want to kind of do a short little video today on kind of like the importance of marking your property lines. How about this? Okay. So I had a guy come out today, and as most of you know, like I've already had, there's a fence post there. I've already had him mark out the land portion of my property. And when he came out to do this in the spring, early summer, whenever it was something like that, the vegetation in the woods was way too thick for his GPS to be able to mark things out in the woods. So today, as things started dying off here in the fall and stuff, I was kind of keeping an eye on it. And he told me I already paid him up front everything for doing the woods and stuff too. And he's like, hey, just give me a call when you're ready to do the woods part here in the fall. And he goes, I'll come out and do it. So I texted him like a week or two ago, and he got me on the books, and he came out today, and we went through and staked out the woods part. And then I went to Lowe's and bought 20 more fence posts. There's roughly 21 fence posts out here on the lot. And then I put 20 fence posts back here in the woods. So kind of walk back in here. I mean, there's not a whole lot to show what I've done, but I mean, I just kind of wanted to say why it was important to do this is to define your property lines, obviously. And especially since being out here in the woods and stuff, you got, especially if people are hunting, I'm hunting out here, my neighbor hunts, like everyone kind of defines their property lines. And if you're going to start clearing, like I'm clearing the property lines and stuff back in the woods here too, to kind of give myself areas to eventually have like side-by-sides and stuff to be able to come back here and do work. So I wanted to know exactly where things were at, so that way I could do work back here and not be working over my property line, because you can get turned around in the woods pretty quickly. Now, I only have 3.5 acres here. There's not a lot of woods. There's a decent amount, but not a lot. And so I wanted to make sure that, even though it's not a whole lot, you can get turned around in here really easy. So somebody who has, let's say 20, 50 acres, whatever it is, you could be out here, you could be out on your land hunting, walking, whatever, you doing a deer drive, whatever you guys do, hunting turkeys or whatever, if you're chasing a turkey or something. Like, you could get lost out there real quick and not know where you're at. So it's important to be able to define your property lines, be able to have access points in and out of your, I'll get the sun in the video too much, to be able to define your property lines and put in access points to be able to get in case of emergencies, as far as like something were happen to you in the woods, if somebody, a friend or somebody who, is trespassing or something happens to them, God forbid, that's a whole issue in its own. So like being able to get emergency services back in here too is another big thing. So like I said, I only have 3.5 acres. So like emergency, people could get back here pretty easy to, regardless of having a path cleared or not. But it's, important to make sure that you know where you're at, and that way you can get in and out easy and quick. Here's what I did back here. So he put in them wood stakes there, as you can see. And I just bought some fence posts and some orange spray paint and spray painted the tops. So that way, when I'm sitting tree stand, I haven't went up there to see if I could see everything yet or not, but I was going to sit up there and see if I could see the boundary lines of the property just from the yellow or the orange spray paint that I put on the top of them. So I got all this done. I'm happy that I got it done at the end of the year here, so that way in the spring I can get back to work doing the property lines and stuff, and then kind of clear both sides of the property out, and finish up the other side over there. So he told me too, the guy that came out and did this, he was like, he's like, I'm really glad that you're putting these fence posts in, because most people come out, he has me, they'll have me come out and do this work, and they pay me money. I paid the guy $250 to come out and do this, and it's 9 acres. So you can imagine if you had more land and stuff, you pay a guy to come out and do that. The fact, he puts in those little wood stakes, those ain't gonna last very long, or they could get taken over by a limb or something real easy, or over time it's just going to deteriorate and then fall over, and then you're not going to know where your property line is. So if you could put these fence posts in, they're going to last a long time. Hell, you could be in the ground, they're going to be rusting, and they're still going to be in the ground. I mean, I drove them in pretty far, so I mean, they're going to be here for a long time. And that way, my neighbor, I also have a neighbor over here, he doesn't have a whole lot of woods, but that way we know, where his property line is, where my property line is. Like, it's just smart. Most people, they're like, it's not that big of a deal. We'll go off the honor system, gentleman's agreement, I kind of know where your property line is, where your property line, and then it's not a problem until it's a problem. And then you could get yourself into some real trouble, and then all of a sudden somebody's pissed off, and then, that just sounds like something I don't want to deal with. So let's take care of the issue right away, and that way we know who's who back here and what's what. And I've already had agreement with the other neighbor over. I bleep, not his name. That's not his name. His name's Joe. But we agreed that we're okay with if you have to go over on somebody's property to grab something, like if I have to trace a deer, trace a deer or whatever, we can go over on each other's property lines and stuff. Now, the only people that I haven't talked to yet are the people at the back of the property over there somewhere. There's two people that own different sections of the properties and stuff that I need to talk to yet. And so that's kind of a thing I might go do here shortly, is people live right around the corner over here, and I'm just going to peek my head in and say, hey, my name's Alex. I live right, oh Lord, I gave my address. No, I didn't get my address away yet. The property line, over here, if I end up getting a deer and it runs over on your property, can I come over and blood trace it over there? Are you okay with that? So I got to make sure everything's cool with that and whatnot. But talking with my other neighbor over there, haven't had any problems with anything. So, hopefully everyone's cool around here. I haven't seemed to have any issues and stuff, but just like I said, it's not a problem until it's a problem. So main story, moral of the story, whatever you want to call it, is make sure you do things ahead of time before you have a bigger issue. Okay? So, was I rambling? Yes, I was. But I felt like this video was kind of needed just for the fact that it sounds like, from my guy that marked everything out, most people don't do this. So if you go ahead and you have the idea that you're going to buy some land and you're going to build a house and you have acreage, no matter if it's wooded or not, mark your property lines. Okay? Because they're going to do it anyways, and there's zoning and stuff. Usually when you buy your property, they're going to have it zoned already or whatever. So you're going to have surveyed and stuff. So when they come out to put the survey stakes in, just put the goddamn fence posts in. It's not that hard. Just cut yourself some time. And then later on, if you want to plant trees, then you know exactly where your property line is, and then you can plant your trees on your property line or whatever you want to do, your hedgerow or your tree line or whatever it is, It's very simple. I spent less than $200 on fence posts, stake driver. I guess grand total 44 stakes or whatever I've bought so far. I probably spent, I guess, maybe $250 total in it all. But I tell you, that's a lot cheaper than having some type of legal fees or somebody or a pissed off neighbor that's gonna throw a rift in between you guys in the future. So just saying. So I suggest to do that, but you do what you do. All right. If you like this video, great. If not, well, that's too bad. You chose to watch it. So see you next time.